So Ben here is a blogger slash geek, and he's here to talk to us today about the Ruckus wireless antenna. What's this about again?
Okay, the Ruckus antenna is built specifically for bringing in metropolitan Wi-Fi signals. This model in particular, the MM2211, is known as the MetroFlex. Different from any other antennas you'll see out there. It's not a router, it's not a gateway, it's a high gain antenna specially designed for your computers.
Okay, let's talk a bit about the hardware before we move on. This thing looks very unique right from the outset. Can you tell us more about it? What does it have in there?
Yeah, okay, it's basically an antenna that firstly you'll notice, unlike most of the other antennas for Wi-Fi, it does not connect through USB. It connects through Ethernet. They give you an Ethernet wire, and it has to be powered externally through a regular wall jack. And there is an antenna within. It could be multiple antennas that picks up signals from any direction, so you don't have to point it directly at a source. Rather, it captures the best source and brings it in for you.
Right, and I've seen the schematics. It's all in the center usually, and there's lights. Can't really see it right now, but usually there are lights to indicate what's on. So it goes to your computer, and you want to talk a bit about the interface? Okay.
If you can see here on the screen, what we've got right here, the SSID, is wireless at SG, and that's exactly the signal that we are bringing in. This is the interface. When you connect up to this unit, you put in the IP address, and you get this interface just like you would on a router. So there is firmware in there. There's some intelligence in this machine.
So it's not just a dumb router. It actually does some networking as well.
If you look over to the side, you will realize that this is an Ethernet connection, a LAN connection, instead of a wireless Wi-Fi connection. And that's an interesting thing to notice, because it's using another form of connection, and it's open to any system. So it's not, you don't need software to run it. It runs on your Linux, your Mac, your Windows, and any other platform you use.
Right. So that's the beauty of antenna systems that use Ethernet instead of USB, for example, which could be only Windows native, and that's it. Before you go on, there's something interesting about this wireless at SG and this router, and there's this story about what you did on your blog. So tell us more about it.
Yes, okay. Okay, here's the blog post, and let me tell you the story. Not too long ago, I found this little device featured on Engadget, and the first thing I thought was that it's useful for bringing in signals from metropolitan Wi-Fi.
Not really.
Not really, you're
No obscene things happening here.
No.
Right, very good.
Okay, so in countries like America, they have certain cities with metropolitan Wi-Fi all around. So what I thought was that, okay, Singapore's going to have that too, with wireless at SG.
Right.
So I wrote this blog post, and the title was very obvious: how to bring wireless at SG home. And that got the attention of the distributor of this product.
So the distributor was actually paying attention to what's on the web?
Yes, apparently. And he stumbled across my blog, and so he decided, okay, he'll send me a unit to review, to prove exactly what I wrote and to see if it really works. And here we are today, showing you that it does really work.
Okay. So you've shown us the interface. Right now it is in fact working with wireless at SG. In fact, your computer right now is connected using your antenna here.
Yes.
So everything's working. One of the questions that people might ask, okay, is how is it different from, say, connecting just from your laptop to wireless SG? I mean, you mentioned about how it boosts the signal. You want to elaborate on that? Like,
yeah, that's basically what it does. It's quite simple. It's just a stronger antenna than what you would find on your computer naturally.
Okay.
And it just amplifies the signal from any other source. What's really useful is that it's actually I believe it's meant for desktops more than laptops, because laptops you want to be mobile.
Yeah.
So this device, you leave it at home on your desktop next to a window maybe, and you bring in the signal.
Right. Now we can do really interesting things because it's using Ethernet and it frees the Wi-Fi connection from your computer. So what are some of the things that we could possibly do with this?
Okay, that's very interesting. Maybe one thing to note is that since it uses the Ethernet, my Wi-Fi card on this computer is absolutely free. In fact, what I did just now was upgrade the firmware on this device over the air, because my wireless card connects to one other network, whereas this one sits on another IP network. And I used the other network to upgrade this, so it's an over-the-air upgrading of the firmware. What you could do was turn the internal Wi-Fi antenna into an ad hoc one and start broadcasting the signal that you're bringing in from your Ethernet.
So for a home situation, where let's say somebody would not want a home plan with Singtel or somebody, they could use this, get free Wi-Fi, and then rebroadcast it for the entire family.
Yes.
Okay?
If it's within reach, you have to have at least a faint signal or something coming through to your house before you can have that working.
Okay.
It doesn't capture it from out of nowhere. Yeah.
Okay. So how much does this thing retail for? I mean, what do you think the expected price might be? Any idea?
We're not too sure.
Not too sure. Okay.
Yeah, not at this point.
Maybe at this point, let's take a look at what the box has. So how many models are there? I mean, this might be confusing because if somebody were to visit the Ruckus Wireless website, which is ruckuswireless.com, right? They will see that there's a bunch of antennas over there.
Yes.
Some of which are even routers. So what's in here?
Okay. This one is the only one that's unique from the rest. The rest are access points, regular antennas for broadcasting, making your network bigger. This one in particular is different. It's for bringing in the signal, exactly opposite of what you have. Okay, very simply, in the box is what you see outside. There's the device.
Right. They supply Ethernet cable?
A Cat5 cable, Cat5e, and of course the power
supply.
License agreement, and a piece of couple of pieces, printed, stapled instructions.
I guess it changes all the time, so I guess they don't bother.
Okay, what's interesting is that this thing doesn't come with software. This thing has firmware, and you access it through the IP address that is written on the back here.
Okay.
They even give you the default username and password, which is password. Not very secure, but yes, when you're in there,
people will buy this would of course know what they're doing then, because it's a high-end thing. It's
quite simple if you look at it. There aren't that many connections. One for power, one for Ethernet.
Right.
And that's basically it.
So the other models are more like routers, where you have more Ethernet ports around the back then.
Yeah. I believe there are some that are routers, there are some that are access points, and this one is...
Okay, so that's a unique piece of device. And which do you know which distributor is the one that provides it, or?
Oh dear, I don't remember the name.
It's okay, we can find out and put it on the blog when it's ready.
Yeah.
Alright, so that's it. That's the Ruckus Wireless antenna.
Yep.
Right? The MetroFlex.
Yes, that's right.
Okay.